Hello, everyone, and welcome to News You Can Use. And we have a lot to get to. So, the first one, we go to England. And this is an active Northeast dad loves to hike in this Lake District despite devastating motor neuron disease. This comes from the Chronic Live, and it is written by Daniel Hall, rural tourism reporter. So, Alan Tort, 51, was diagnosed with motor neuron disease in 2017, but he has deteriorated in the last 6 months to a point where it is difficult for him to enjoy his passion for great outdoors. Alan and Dawn Tort lived in Morpeth, Northumberland until 2013, but moved to Newby Bridge in the Lake District when Alan was offered a relocation package after the Vickers Tank Factory closed, where he had worked as a manufacturer engineer. Keen walkers and outdoors enthusiasts, being in the lake was perfect for their lifestyle, with the couple and their daughter, Sophia, often enjoying hill walking and camping trips, even walking 36 miles of Scotland's Caledonian Way when Sophia was just 6 months old. So really, they were into the outdoors here. Even now, Alan still does a big walk each year to raise money with a team of friends pulling his wheelchair the 20 plus miles from Coniston to Barrow and Furness. In total, Don estimates that the family have raised more than £17,000 for MND charities from their exploits. Now, Alan has all but lost the use of his arms, and in the past 6 months, he has become more reliant on his wheelchair. His wife, Dawn, 42, hopes to raise enough money for an all-terrain wheelchair, which would see Alan be able to get back on out into the great outdoors. We've been really humbled by people's generosity, and it's not something we've reached out for easily. I know everyone's struggling at the minute, and times are hard, but we're both out of work, and we see that wheelchair as a luxury, not a necessity. However, it's a luxury we all have. It's freedom. It's like asking someone for a pair of trainers when you've got no shoes. The first time that we go out on a route that Alan's not been able to go on for a while will be all tears. It would mean everything for me to see Alan back up in the hills, and it would mean so much to Alan just to be able to have that choice of life that we all just take for granted. So this is a family that's struggling to raise funds, for an all-terrain vehicle. And here in the United States, in our parks, in our state parks, we can actually schedule an all-terrain vehicle to be able to travel around the parks. So a big difference between one country and another. Lapa Valley Steam Railway in Cornwall, brand new trains. And this is in England, I think, as well. So this comes from the packet. And in anticipation of Milestone birthday, one of the Cornwall's most loved family attractions has announced a major investment in their first brand new locomotive carriages in 6 decades, designed to improve accessibility and efficiency. Lapa Valley and St. Newlyn East Cornwall will celebrate its 50th birthday in 2024. In time for the celebrations, they have commissioned leading train builders Alan Keefe Limited to design and build a brand new state-of-the-art locomotive and new carriages for the main railroad. Lapa Valley owner Keith Southwell said, "I am delighted to be working with Alan Keefe Limited on exciting and auspicious project which represents another significant investment in Lapa Valley. However, let's see here. I think the big problem here is they're making some bridges and walkways, and they're not accessible. So they have some work to do there in England. So we'll see what happens with this and if there's a follow-up. So that is the big problem. They're making some walkways, some walk bridges, and some foot bridges that we call them, and they're not accessible. So I think there's a struggle there in the town saying, hey, what's up? So they've built some that are accessible and another group of bridges, pathways that are accessible. So it's kind of half and half right now. So we'll see how that one goes. All right, this comes from the Sunray SIA Daily, and the country we're in is in Victoria, Australia. So here we go to Australia. So this is called, the title is Poor Review for Disabled Access to Cinema. So cinemas are, the movies. And this is written by Wade Steffens on July 30th, 2023. A wheelchair user has appealed for more to be done to accommodate the disabled who would like to go to the screening at Wallace Cinema Mildura. Kay Turvey, who has required a wheelchair since 2017, described attending the complex as an unpleasant experience. It's a nightmare. It's not fun, Ms. Turvey said. Among the obstacles she listed were a lack of out-front disabled parking, a steep ramp with a sharp lip at the nearest taxi drop-off bay, and uneven pavement. I would have thought that someone would have said something sooner, but they haven't, she said. So this point right here is really important. I thought somebody would have said something sooner. And sometimes as a group or as a community, we think, oh, someone else will say something. And, that's where it's important for our position to really say something. Because even if a couple people have said something, the more that people come forward and say something, the more attention it will get. So here, nobody had said anything, and she's sticking out her foot here. It really destroys the pleasure of going to the cinema. It really does. A Mildura Rural City Council spokesperson said, while there is no disability car park in front of the Deacon Cinema complex, there are 12 within the general area. The closest is 9th Street, so blocks away. The council regularly reviews car parking time restrictions, barriers to access, and options, which may include additional disabled car space locations, the spokesperson said. Disability car parks are located within the Mildura CBD to provide equitable access for community in the business precinct. Disability car parks are accompanied by all access pathways to ensure safe and ease of access from a car park onto the footpath. We also encourage residents who have similar concerns to contact us so that we can properly investigate them. So yeah, they want everybody's voice in this, and I support that because in numbers we get things done. So safety in numbers, and our voice gets louder when it's more than one of us. So Ms. Turvey said often only one door is open at the cinema's entrance, providing an inappropriate gap for wheelchair users. So they are working very hard here at the cinemas to get them a more accessible doorways, walkways, and where they can get off and go into the cinema. So a lot of issues there. We hope them well. And I invite all the voices in this area who use wheelchairs and need accessibility to call into the cinemas. Not only this one, but the ones all across the country. Here in the United States, our movie theaters are getting better about that. And we usually have some down below on the first level. We have some areas where we can enjoy the movie. They'll not only have a space for wheelchairs, but they also have seats for companions. Para Swimming World Championships, Grace Harvey on balancing sport and study. So this comes from BBC Sports, so we know this is from England, by Elizabeth Hudson, BBC Sports on July 30th. So venue, Manchester Aquatic Centre, and coverage by daily reports across BBC Sports. Para swimmer Grace Harvey is hoping her balance act in and out of the pool can keep her on top of the world at the week's World Championship in Manchester. The 24-year-old goes into the event as defending champion in the SB5 100 meters breaststroke event, but the Tokyo Paralympic silver medalist combined training with studying for a master's in public dental health at the University of Manchester. I'm incredibly fortunate to live both the life of a student and of an athlete performing at the highest level, she told BBC Sports. There are very few people who do the two at the same time, and to achieve well at both is something I want to do. It is quite difficult balancing them, and it evokes really good time planning. Yeah, you gotta keep on that schedule. I also want to use my platform as the athlete to champion the three things I am passionate about: academia, sport, and dental health. Competition starts on Monday with Harvey's breaststroke event on Friday, and having been based in Manchester for the past 6.5 years, she is hoping to make home advantage count at the newly refurbished Aquatic Center. So let's cheer her on, follow her on the internet, and that her championships go well. And this is for para swimmer Grace Harvey. All right, folks, that is it for news you can use. It's a little long this time with a few blockers that we had, but it's good news overall. So so that is good. That is important. So let us continue to follow these Olympics and the people who are still struggling with their disability. So my name is Lisa, and this is News You Can Use. I'm hoping to see you next time and see you around.